participating with families in this new COVID world. So thank you to our sponsors, M&T Bank, who have been sponsors of the Canalside presentation of Storytime for the last 5 years. Thank you to the Children's Foundation. They have also been supporting us for the last 5 years. And a new sponsor this year is the Bauer Family Foundation. And we can't thank the three of you enough for bringing this wonderful children's programming to Buffalo. So I'd like to thank our staff and our volunteers. I'd like to thank Ms. Thompson from the Buffalo Fire Department for reading our story today. She's going to be focusing on our literacy skills and reading us a great book, No Dragons for Tea. We have the Fitness Center with our intern, Shelby. We have a art session in the back with the Albright Knox art truck. And we have some lifeguards from the Goldfish Swim School who are going to be talking to us about health and safety along with our fitness section today.
Good morning, everyone. So happy to be part of Epic Storytime. Today, my name is Lieutenant Thompson. I'm from the Buffalo Fire Department, and today I'm going to be reading the story of No Dragons for Tea. I personally have not had a dragon over for tea, but this may give me some ideas on what I should or shouldn't do if I invite a dragon over for tea. And this book was written by Jean E. Penzawall and illustrated by Martin Thorbaugh. One warm sunny day at the end of last week, my mom and I went for a walk to the creek. As I raced down the hill in my little red wagon, I veered to the left and smacked into a dragon. I suppose he could see there was fear in my eyes as I jumped to my feet, quite filled with surprise. He sheepishly grinned and stepped out of the way, but he seemed so polite that I asked him to play. He had a cute bear and some other toys too. With my shovel and pail, we'd have oodles to do. We ran to the creek and then onto the bay, where we played on the beach for the rest of the day. Then Mom waved and said, "Now it's time to eat. Let's pack the red wagon and head up the street." It's hard to stop playing with friends old or new, so I asked if the dragon could come eat too. My mom wrinkled her brow and squinted her eyes. Looking up at the dragon's incredible size, I begged and I pleaded, then said very sweet, "We won't make a mess. We'll be very tidy and neat." So at last she said, "Yes, just this once I'll agree. You may have the dragon come over for tea." We had carrots and apples, thick slices of ham, with fresh homemade biscuits and strawberry jam, cold glasses of milk and a great big dill pickle, but the pepper we sprinkled sure made my nose tipple. Then the dragon's nose twitched and he started to wheeze. His eyes misted up and he blew a great sneeze. Achoo! Well, we all know what happens when dragons are chewed. Flames shot from his mouth and from both nostrils too. Our tablecloth sparked and then burst into flames, and the curtains that hang right beside did the same. The smoke alarm rang with a loud piercing sound. It meant get out fast, so I dropped to the ground. The room filled with smoke as I crawled on the floor and started to make my way up to the front door. The dragon got scared and decided to hide, but I knew when there's fire, we must get outside. I grabbed his thick tail and with one mighty tug, way out, we must meet by the tree. So Mom and the dragon and I all met there. Then that silly dragon went back for his bear. We ran up and caught him and wouldn't let go. And I said, listen, dragon, here's what you should know. Don't ever go back. That's just will not do. We can get a new bear, but we can't replace you. Since the fire was burning inside of our home, we went to the neighbors to borrow the phone. Mom knew what to dial and said, calm and clear, here's our full address. Send the fire trucks here. Before very long, down our street they came sailing, with bright red lights flashing and loud sirens wailing. The fire crew rushed to start work on their task. They were dressed in big boots and wore helmets and masks. They hooked up the hose and ran into the house, where they sprayed streams of water in order to douse the table, the curtains, our lovely snack too. And it didn't take long till that fire was through. The fire chief called out the door with a shout. The smoke made a mess, but the fire is out. My poor friend the dragon knew he was to blame, so he hung down his head and wept great tears of shame. One of the fire crew said, don't be sad. You knew what to do, and for that, we're quite glad. You all got out safely. That's really what matters. Then she took us to see the big pump truck and the ladders. The dragon put on a shiny red hat, and I asked to see where the fire crews were sat. She showed us the siren, the hoses and lights, and the ladders they climb up to reach higher heights. The rest of the fire crew checked all the rooms, while a fan in the door blew out gray smoke and fumes. Then the dragon and I would sat down for a while. I reached up and hugged him. He gave me a smile. The next time the dragon and I want to play, we'll pack up a picnic and go to the bay. We are friends, tried and true, the best we can be, but I'll never again invite dragons for tea. And now, boys and girls, you're gonna learn the dragon's fire safety ride. When the smoke alarm sounds, here's what you should do. Leave your toys all behind, because there's only one you. Get down and stay low, crawling under the smoke, because breathing those fumes in might make you choke. If your clothes catch on fire, don't run about. Stop, drop, and roll until the fire is out. Don't open the door if the handle feels hot. Find another way out to your planned meeting spot. Even when scared, you must never hide. And once you're out, don't go back inside. Thank you for listening to us today, and from Epic Storytime, I'm Lieutenant Thompson. Have a great day.
What does this have to do with what we're doing today? This is just something fun. I'm going to show you what we got. You could do this at home. All you need is some water, some oil. I use light colored oil, so it's vegetable oil, food coloring, 2 glasses. It could be any kind of glasses, but make sure one of them is see-through, okay? And then something to stir it with. So this is going. I'm going to open up this. You don't need to have this much oil. I'm overdoing it, but that's okay. When you have the oil, I'm going to take different food colorings. You can use all of them. So I'm going to put some of little fireworks, which is pretty cool. Once it gets going, it's so satisfying. And this is something really easy that you guys can do at home. So all you need is a couple things around the house and
That's satisfying. That's satisfying, right? Yeah, it was good. Alright. So this is kind of a safe way. I mean, we can't, there's no fire, so it's a lot safer than using actual fireworks, which can do a lot of damage. So we want us to kind of stay away from them ourselves. So we just have people who know what they're doing use them. Ooh, nope, just stay put. That's good. Great. That's very satisfying. I'm sorry, everybody. All right. So while that's going, let me go back to this. So I shook this up, and if you notice, it's not, the water's not completely clear, but you can see the separation. So it's, water is on the bottom, oil's on the top. They don't like to hang out. They don't mix together. So like if you ever have like salad dressing, a lot of times you got to shake it up before you use it. It's the same idea. So water and oil do not mix. Alright, I hope you guys try this out at home. It's really easy, it's really fun, and it's a safe way to, it's a safe alternative. So thanks so much.
Good morning, guys. My name is Paige, and I'm actually a lifeguard and a swim instructor here at the activity, all right? Today, if you guys can, we're going to be MacGyvering a lot of this, meaning that we're just going to be looking for things around the house that gives us a little bit of inspiration for like a dragon face. So one thing that I found that was pretty helpful was soap boxes. Okay? You could also use tubes for toilet tissue. When it comes to soap boxes, they're really easy to use just because you can open them up, and if you want to paint them, you can put your hands through so you don't get paint all over your hands. So soap boxes is the first thing that we're looking for, or toilet tissue tubes. We're also looking for tissue paper or paper bag and plastic bag if you want to use that. Okay. Markers or coloring, like coloring materials. So I have some paint markers here as well as some paint, some colored pencils, some crayons. But I find that paint or paint markers works best. If you don't have those things, that's okay. You can also use tape and you can color over the tape. That's why I have this green painter's tape with me today, and that's how I made this dragon right here. Aside from your coloring materials, your paper bag, your plastic bag, your tissue paper, you're also going to need cotton balls and glue, as well as scissors. So I have some different types of glue here. I have super glue, tacky glue, and also just regular Elmer's glue stick. Just in case you have any of the three works just fine. So let's start with making a dragon. I do have one pre-colored box that we're going to use first, and then we're going to make one from scratch, like all the way through. I've already painted this like a metallic gold and green. If you can, do you want to get a little bit closer just so you can see the color on that? So there's a little bit of a shimmer on it, and right now it seems like a little streaky, but once you put your other materials on there, it's going to look a little bit more finished. So we've got our soapbox. First things first, when it comes to the soapbox, we're going to be cutting off the tips off one of the sides. And what I mean by the tips is the infold flaps. So when you're looking at your soapbox, try to visualize exactly what a dragon's face would look like. And whenever I look at this soapbox, I think about how this could be the nostril, like right here, these two pieces. And I could also attach teeth to this to fill in that empty space that we might have. So for this one right here, we have it opened up. We have those two just flat points that serve as nostrils. Same thing goes for this one. So now that we have our soapbox opened up and we already have it sort of like pre-colored, let me just put this right on the ground if I can step on that. Now that I have that pre-colored, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more color to this. So I've got a flap here, two flaps in the back and one on the bottom. This is going to serve as like that fan or fin that dragons usually have on the back of their heads. And I'm going to pick, what color do you guys think that I should pick for this? Blue. You want blue? Okay, let's go with blue. So I'm going to go with a Oscar blue marker. And again, any material will work just fine. And if you have tape, just cover your box with tape and then trim around that tape so you can color over that. Okay. So let's fill this up with blue. Thing about having paint markers is that they dry pretty quickly. Same thing goes for acrylic paints. Now that we're outside, I mean, underneath the sun, it's going to dry pretty quickly. But we've got some blue on that flap there. Now what we're going to do is color those two side flaps as well, because we want that all to be in unison with each other. Or, I mean, you could make them complementary colors if you'd like. For me, I like a little bit more consistency. Julia just helped me get a soapbox back. Julia's a hero for me today. Thank you so much. I wouldn't know what to do without you. Alright, so now that we've got that colored, let's make sure we hold on to everything that we have here. We're going to sit and let that dry just for a second. And to weigh this down, because we're outside, I had masking tape, I believe. I know where I put it. So let's just use a little bit of this tape. We'll just do that right now. That's cool. So I have some pre-cut tissue paper as well. And what you're going to want to do if you're using paper bag or plastic bags is cut it into thin strips, anywhere from like 2 inches to, half an inch. You don't want it to be too thin because then it's going to have trouble fitting inside of the box. And what I like to do is I like to layer it one over the other and glue it as I go. And then once you get a good set strip going, you tape over it. That way nothing floats away and everything's anchored really nicely. So let's get a couple of these pieces. Let's get some red. We got some braid on that one. That's really nice. Braids as well. What we do is we just separate it a little bit. We layer one over the other. I hope that I'm not going too fast, am I?
Nope, you're doing great, and thank you so much for being patient with the wind. I feel like this raises the degree of difficulty on today's project a little bit.
It does. I am sweating so much for everybody that's at home right now.
We appreciate it.
So let's combine these. Okay. And see how we have everything just flapping really nicely? We're holding it tight and anchored at the top point. What I'm going to do is to make this a little bit easier on myself, instead of just trying to glue one right over the other, which does help with anchoring. Julie, are you okay with helping me with this part? Is that okay?
Sure.
Is that cool?
She can, absolutely. Julia is an intern with us from UB, and we're so excited to have her today. So, of course, we would love to have her help you.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Because now we're thinking about teamwork.
Yes.
For all of you who have liked, commented, and shared, you now have a chance to win our Epic Literacy Pack for today. It has everything from workbooks to sheets of paper and crayons, tips and tricks on how to build literacy in the home.